Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kurt. Welcome back to Farlands or Bust, where we have our water window. Water window from the last episode. Just step right up and stick your eyeballs into the water and bloosh. You're blind. No. Oh, man. I'm weird. But, yeah, welcome back to Farlands or Bust. How does one actually exit a hidey hole that is adorned with a water window? These are design problems that I did not solve before digging down here and deciding it was a pleasant place to live. But anyway, we're going to attempt to get out, and we're going to attempt to start... here we go. We're going to attempt to start episode 584 of Farlands or Bust, if Wolfie can get his obtuse butt out of this. There we go, out of the hidey hole there. He just teleported. He's a cheater. So let's do that and that. Let's see what the water window looks like from the other side. Oh yeah, the water window. Oh god, well don't go back in there, you nut. Can I? No, I can't. I cannot take a picture in time before Wolfie moves away. Oh, yep, no. Alright, I should just give up and continue on here. Like I said, this is... Oh, I should have placed the boat and got into the boat. Is that even a thing I can do? I don't even think that's a thing I can do. Wolfie, you're not going to listen to me, but what if I just... Nope. What if I... No, oh, okay. Alright. You're a nut. Okay, alright. And now let's get back in. Experiments, everybody. Experiments. Let's secure the hidey hole. And then let's exit the hidey hole without... Well, we did, but now we're not even going to... This is probably going to kill us, actually. All right, hold your breath, everybody. Trying science in 3, 2, 1. Science! Science, everybody, we did it. We did it indeed. That would have been so much better if I had just done that from the start. Hold on, I have to scrap this recording and reload the save. No, just kidding. I would never do that. What a weird beginning to the episode. Let's navigate around this iceberg right ahead. And continue, like I said, or at least start. Let's start episode 584, halfway into the day here, on your Thursday, April 14th, 2016 is when this video is being published. And farlandsorbust.com is where you can donate to Child Support charity. Our fundraiser for Season 6 is to try to raise $60,000 for the charity, and right now we are at $31,900. Thank you very much, Wolfie, for doing that. That really helps with the progress here. But yeah, we're at $31,900. That's 53% of the way to that goal. Keep going to farlandsorbust.com to donate. You help get toys, books, games to kids in hospitals around the world. That's what Child's Play Charity does, and that is what we will continue to support. When you do donate, you can ask a question. There's a comment box. You can ask a question that I will address in a future episode of Farlands or Bust here. We need wood. That's what I remember from the last episode. So let's chop it down this tree. And I've got some updates here. We need some questions. So get donating, my friends. We need some questions. So get donating at farlandsorbust.com. But that's all right today, because I have some topics that I feel I need to discuss. So gather round, everybody. It's Farlander meeting, family meeting, Farlander meeting time. First of all, obviously, now 4 months later, but before the new year, I set forth the Kurt J. Tat initiative, saying that if we raise, what was it, 10,000? Was it to reach 10,000 by then, or was it 15,000? Maybe it was 15,000. I don't remember. Anyway, we reached it. So I said I would get a Minecraft tattoo. I want to get the Minecraft grass block. That was, for the longest time, the logo, the icon for Minecraft. Not the text. I don't want the word Minecraft. I just want the block. Just the grass, not the dirt block. The dirt block with the grass on top. I want that, and I'm going to get that, and I will get that, and I wanted to get that this month, April. I said after March Stream-A-Day that April would be the month to do it. Unfortunately, that doesn't look to be the case because, well, I wanted to get it so that I could debut it or something, or just show it off, whatever, at PAX East, because I'm going to PAX East, by the way. I mentioned that before, Boston. That is the weekend of the 22nd. The weekend of the 22nd in Boston. I already said that. And unfortunately, the nearest time I could get aforementioned KurtJTat, keeping into account that I have yet to have found well, I know there are, but I've yet to research and find the tattoo parlor or anything or artist or whatever, would be this weekend, and that seems like a bad idea because I feel like a week later at PAX East, it wouldn't be fully healed. It would be all gross and scabby, maybe, because I hear that takes a couple weeks or a week to go away with the tattoos. So I'm a little bit disappointed in myself with that. But of course, even after March stream a weekday, I'm like, oh, I'll have more time. I kind of neglected to think of things like taxes and other things that we're doing, just other things. So many things just continue to happen. I would be very grateful if things would stop for a moment and give me a chance to do some other things, maybe. Which I suppose is quite the paradox. You need certain things to stop happening so that you're busy with other things that you need time to get done. So yeah, that's unfortunately definitely not gonna happen before PAX East, which I'm super bummed out about. I want to show off to my friends with my first tattoo, but that's not gonna be happening. That stinks. But that is still on. I assure you, I am not going back on that promise. Like, I have other ideas for future tattoos. I just want to get this first one done and over with. Get on with it. Oh, that's a bad idea. Let's not go that way. So yeah, we're gonna be doing that eventually. So yeah, like I said, I have a backlog of tattoos that I want, but this one is going to be the first. And I mean, unless it's a completely unpleasant experience and I decide against it, I hear after you get your first tattoos, when people tend to get hooked, and then that becomes quite the money sinkhole. So I'm looking forward to throwing my money at something else. So yeah, that's the update there. And I hope that's okay. If it's not, too bad. You're not the boss of me. Oh, man. But, yeah, continuing on here, I had a topic of discussion. Well, more a topic of me talking at you and you not being able to respond real time. I wanted to talk a bit about this little old game called Minecraft. Obviously, we're playing Minecraft Beta 1.7.3, because it is the last version of vanilla Minecraft to include the Farlands that exist at 12,500,820 blocks or some distance from spawn. Once they updated to Beta 1.8, the Adventure update, they changed the terrain gen and got rid of that. Perhaps you could say fixed the Farlands, and then the world just generates as normal out to 30 million blocks. But anyway, there have been many generations and changes and updates to the game since then, and up until the latest one, Minecraft 1.9, the combat update, as they called it. Quite the controversial update indeed, and perhaps just more controversial for myself because I don't like it. I don't like it at all, and there's quite a few. Specifically, I'm finding it is specifically those of us who've played Minecraft since Alpha, Beta, since what even came before Alpha. It was the InfDev, or whatever you want to call it, that version. You know, those of us who've been playing it since 2010 or earlier. This latest update is unappealing indeed. What it essentially does is update the combat. We were all, when we first heard about it, that the next update, 1.9 update, was going to address combat. We thought it would address things that we most commonly come into contact with and have problems with. That is the PvP combat, the glitchiness of it, the fact that lag is a huge issue with lag and server syncing and whatever is a huge problem with combat. And so we were excited about that there would be some changes to making the combat perhaps more fluid, perhaps more accurate. Accuracy was a big deal. And it doesn't appear that that was the intended fix. Or at least it certainly wasn't the outcome of the 1.9 combat update. So let's hold our thoughts momentarily. Build an elevated hidey hole and sleep for the night. And then we will continue talking in the morning. Oop, I said that too soon. There's dead air. Dead air! And a rant JMac-ness. Not really a rant. I don't really want this to be a rant. I have some organized thoughts on paper here, but you know how often I adhere to those. Basically, this comes on the heels of recently completing another Mindcrack UHC, a couple of them actually, in 1.9. Obviously, the biggest problem for all of us who've been playing so long is that we're so used to the Minecraft combat, every previous version for the last 5-6 years of Minecraft combat, and this is a complete departure from that, is that we have no idea what we're doing. It makes no sense to us. So obviously there's a peppering and a sprinkling and a salting of the wounds there that maybe makes us a little bit more ornery than, say, somebody else who hasn't been playing for so long. But it isn't pleasing. And these are the bullet points. Basically, I feel like what it's going to do, and what I've actually seen it do, is it's causing like a fork in the road. Like now it feels like there's two different versions. I did just feed Wolfie, didn't I? It feels like there's two different versions of the game. There are indeed players like myself, and also servers. There are multiplayer servers that the new combat mechanics completely break, like the games, the mini games, or whatever games that a public server is based on. So they're just sticking with 1.8 or whatever, and not updating to 1.9, because when they do, it's basically whoop, game over. You know, these games do not work anymore. So I feel like it is going to cause like a fork in the road for certain players of the game, and certainly for myself. I mean, I enjoy, on our patron server, we're still on 1.8, simply because it breaks a lot of things. There are a lot of bugs. I mean, that's another thing, is it was in development for like over a year and a half or something like that, and on release there were still a ton of bugs and just problems that need to be addressed. But that's really not what I'm talking about. That is, I suppose, a little bit, that doesn't feel too good, I guess, to experience. And obviously there's going to be bugs regardless, but anyway, yeah, it's a thing. And here's what I was trying to find reasons. Yeah, I'm not used to it. I'm bad at it. The combat or whatever. It affects the PvE combat a ton, but really didn't address any of the PvP combat issues that we were having. Specifically, like with the lag. If you do watch the Mindcrack UHC, I'll try to avoid spoilers, but who cares? Good was having serious connectivity issues. I don't know, he was routed through the International Space Station or something, connected to the server. I don't know what his problems were. I think his internet was down or something. It increases the problem with that, because now it's all about timing and precision. You know, your cursor has to be over somebody, or else you're just swinging around at a blind pinata, although you're blind and the pinata's blind. So lag, when before it was just swing, and some of your hits hit and some of them didn't, and who knows how those got calculated based on the server to client speak. This is even worse, because you swing and miss, and then whoop, that's the end of you, because your opponent is able to swing and hit like 3 more times in the time that you're swinging and missing or whatever. So there's those problems, but I think what I've boiled it down to for me is, I've talked about this before, about Minecraft updates. Minecraft updates. The vast majority of them in the past have been updates or additions to the game that, if you choose, you could happily avoid and not use, and choose not to use, You could still upgrade your game and be current and everything like that, but say, when they added wolves. Oh, neat. They added wolves. That could completely change your game or improve your game or whatever, or you could just completely ignore them and really make no difference at all to your game play style or your enjoyment of the basics of Minecraft. Similarly, they added the Nether. Didn't have to go to the Nether. There's obviously, as we've learned in the past over 5 years walking, there's plenty of land up here on the overworld to enjoy. They add things like pistons. I think the one and only time I ever crafted pistons in any version of Minecraft was back on episode 400, when I crafted those 4 pistons of episode 400, or was it 4 years? It was either 4 years or 400. I crafted 4 pistons, and those are the first and last pistons I've ever crafted in Minecraft. I have no use for them. I don't care to get into that. Same thing with redstone. You don't have to get into redstone. You know, you can happily just go about the game of Minecraft that you enjoy, just like in the alpha or beta versions or whatever, and carry on with your day. That was kind of what I felt like was when Notch was involved. That was kind of the Notch additions to the game. And this Minecraft beta 1.7.3 kind of feels like one of the last Notch quote-unquote versions, even though I know at this point he had brought on others to help at Mojang to program and even perhaps take over almost completely with the game, more so than him being directly involved. But, you know, once we got into 1.8, the adventure updates, and I feel like this sort of started. That was one heck of a stutter. This sort of started. It started to feel like what I was getting at. This combat update you can't avoid. It completely changes your game. You can't just be like, oh, I'm not going to use the new combat mechanics. No, they are thrust upon you, my friends. The armor system is completely changed. Obviously the combat, like I said, has completely changed. Shields and whatnot. You know, okay, say if they added, oh, you can hold things in your left hand now or your offhand. Sure, I could, you know, I don't have to do that, and I for the most part don't do that, like on the Minecraft server or anything like that, just because it's awkward and it's weird and they get in my way. But you can't avoid it because you're going to die instantly on any server playing easy or harder if you don't have a shield in your offhand or whatever. You know, it completely changes the game. It's unavoidable, and I think that's why I'm a little bit more... I guess I'm looking at it just from the get-go with a bad light because it's been forced upon me, I suppose, in that general regard. Similarly, you know, at first when they added potions and enchants, they were just little superfluous things. And it's like, oh, I could do without, you know, I don't really care to get into enchants or potions. I don't think, naturally brewed a potion or anything like that, or collected the items to brew a potion. But then they did start to make tweaks to, say, the armor, to the mobs, that made it where, oh, simply having diamond armor is not enough. You must enchant, and those were kind of the first little twinges I could feel of, uh-oh, this game is going in a direction that I do not desire. And, oops, have I been going the wrong... No, I thought I was going the right way. I just got turned around there when I fed Wolfie. And I got Wolfie up, right? Yep, all right. So yeah, I think that's the core of the problem I have. Just because in the past, I remember talking about this, could be a couple, 200, 300, 400 episodes ago, where I talked about, oh, when they add something to the game, you can kind of avoid it. Oh, those little... whatever, the ocean monuments are really hard, and I tried to take one on with Good, and it just was really dumb, and I didn't like it, so I'm never going to do it again. Okay, you can avoid that. You can still play Minecraft. You can still enjoy your game as you enjoy it. You can still build or do whatever it is, an adventure, but you can avoid the ocean monuments, or the end, even. The end dragon, you don't have to care about. It really provides you nothing of use. So, yeah. I mean, and I feel like certainly this combat update... And I think looking at other people who have criticisms of it, careful there, pig. You can't write off those criticisms too quickly, because this is one of the first major changes that's been forced. You can't avoid it. It is critically changes the game, and I just wonder it almost seems, and I could be wrong, I could be completely wrong, I'm sure they're all fine people over at Mojang, but it seems to me almost like those developing the game don't play it anymore. Like, they're missing a lot of stuff. And I know they're also, like, developing for other versions and other, you know, there's a lot of work over there, and everybody's I don't know, I don't pretend to know anything about game design, and that's why I'm kind of prefacing this with this part of the argument could be completely wrong, but it just seems like they don't play the game anymore, away from it being a job or play testing or whatever. You know, we don't have, like, were there any, like, fun? Where's the fun? Does the fun ever start? Were there any, like, fun additions? Like, remember in the updates where we got, like, oh, suddenly you could name a sheep dinner bone and he's upside down, or name a animal Jeb and he's rainbow colored or something. You know, the little fun additions, because I felt like at that time the developers actually played the game and they themselves got a good hearty chuckle about adding this to a game they enjoyed. I don't feel like there were any of those in this last update. Were there? Like, I mean, there's new blocks. Oh, there's little glider wingy things. Okay. But it feels like there's a lack of something of, I don't know, passion, involvement? I don't know. I could be completely wrong. Maybe they play it every day and they enjoy it, and they have servers they play, and they do whatever realms and stuff like that. Which leads me to, what are they missing, or like what? Yeah, I don't know. I would hope that they're just not completely ignoring concerns. They don't seem to be of players, because that would be certainly worse than if, you know, I could accept if they just didn't play the game and they just don't know what most players are experiencing. But if they're ignoring, then that would be worse. But I don't think that's the case, and I'm not trying to badmouth anybody. But let's go to sleep and continue in the morning. And awakeness. And indeedness. And to concludeness. To conclude, I mean, I could... True. Maybe I just need to play it more. I mean, that's the main, like, argument I hear against people who criticize the changes is, oh, you're just bad at the game, or you're an idiot, or you haven't played it. You're not used to it. Why don't you practice in the hours and hours of free time that I'm sure you have as a YouTuber that clearly don't exist in the day. You don't even have time to get a dumb tattoo. You know, maybe it's just that I or we don't know it. I can't get used to the shield. The shield is in my way all the time. Like, you notice how people notice in Far Lines or Bust, I'm constantly kind of walking to the left, and people have theorized it's because there's a sword in my right eye, so I'm constantly trying to avoid it. Now we've got this big third of the screen on the left side with a shield that's like, I can't see. I'm like, what is this? I'm like walking with blinders on. I can't get used to the shield. It doesn't always work. Sometimes you want to eat, and then instead it puts up your shield, and sometimes you want a shield, and instead you eat. So those weird things like that. The baby zombies hitboxes are tinier than the tiniest tiny that ever tinied. This is just frustrating. And I have been playing 1.9. We've been doing a little bit of recording of another series that you guys will be seeing soon. In 1.9, and it is kind of heavy on the new mechanics, and I think I'm getting better at it, but it's still just, even though I'm getting better, it feels laborious. It feels complicated, and it feels too complicated for this game. I mean, like I said, look at the grass block, look at the textures, and, you know, the squares. This block-based game, which I know it's not the first block-based game, but it has kind of now been coined as like the Minecraft. Whenever another game comes out that looks slightly like this or has blocky landscapes or textures, it looks like Minecraft. I feel like the new combat mechanics don't match the game. They make sense to me. I mean, like the cooldown, the weapon cooldown, the shielding. I don't know what else they added, some whatever complicated stuff. They make sense to me, but in another game they make sense to me. Like a game like Chivalry, I see where that makes sense, where there are very precise swoops of swords and shields that block at the precise time and cooldown meters or whatever, but not in Minecraft. And I talk about this a lot also when talking about praising or criticizing other games, where the gameplay does or doesn't match the game, the story, the world, the game world itself. I always go on about Eidolon and how the simplicity of the graphics, which at first, when they were first developing it, there was a developer blog, they were talking about how it was going to be a little bit more complicated, a little bit more of that. It almost looked like your 7 Days to Die, or, you know, one of those kind of Gary's Mod style games. But the actual art style is so simplistic, very flat, no textures at all, barely. Very flat geometry, sharp geometry, simplistic, matches the gameplay of the simplistic survival. You know, you don't gotta skin the deer yourself. You just pick up 2 meat. Okay, cook meat cooked. Okay, now you can eat the meat. Okay, are you injured? Find some honey. Okay, honey. Okay, you're healed. Or, you know, don't find the honey as I found. You just heal on your own. I feel like the combat mechanics of 1.9 Minecraft don't match the game. And again, maybe that's also because I've been playing for 6 years, and this Minecraft Beta 173 is the game of Minecraft in its purest form to me. So it's certainly okay to have different opinions, and maybe you love the new combat mechanics and you think it saves the game of Minecraft. But I feel like, you know, I'm sure we complained about the spam clicking. I don't know that I ever complained about the spam clicking. People have complained about the spam clicking. I think the simplicity and almost the derpiness of that matches the game of Minecraft to me. So the loss of that in exchange for this much more complex, maybe not complex is the word, but more precision, more kind of almost realism-esque goings-ons, doesn't match the game of Minecraft to me. And that, my friends, is how that cookie crumbles. Ooh, speaking of crumbles, let's check out this crazy crumbling landscape ahead. Hey! So yeah, I just felt like vomiting words about that. At the end of the UHC, spoiler alert, I did kind of, just as I was logging off, you know, your adrenaline's high after you get in a battle or whatever. And I just, I said a very few quick words about how I didn't expand upon it. I just said, I don't like this new combat, this stinks. And of course, the majority of the response to that was like, oh, he's an idiot, he doesn't know what he's talking about or whatever. Which is a very majority response to most anything on the internet and YouTube, I guess. But, you know, I felt like expanding upon that a little bit, and you may think I'm wrong, but you're wrong. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. I just wanted to... Those were kind of just the thoughts that pooled in my head. I think the one thing that kind of made sense to me, I really couldn't pin why I don't like it, the new combat mechanics or whatever. The one thing that I just was like a light bulb that went off my head. I was like, oh yeah, it's because it's forced upon me. That's why. It's forced upon me that I don't like the new combat mechanics, as opposed to one of the things I really liked about Minecraft is all of the things that have been added or updated are all kind of optional things that don't change the game if that's not part of the game that you want it to be. You know, much like, hey, similarities, much like the Tomb Raider reboots, I can't play those games like the old Tomb Raider games, like I want to play Tomb Raider, because they forced upon you all this experience, upgrades, and crafting mechanics and food and you know, all these survival elements, quick time events. You know, that's not a Tomb Raider game to me, and that, despite being a completely different game than the previous ones, is, as a fan, an aficionado of the franchise, feels like that was forced upon me. So hey, there we go. I think we've come full circle there. Let's see if we can answer at least one question here. Well, we could probably answer a couple. I didn't realize it was still so early in the day. It's only like 3:30. What does the clock say? Yeah, I'd say that. Yeah, it's exactly what the clock says. Deep fried ferticide? Deep fried certified. Deep fried certified asked, what is your favorite Simpsons episode? This has been asked of me before, and I always change my mind. I have a few. The Hank Scorpio episode. I never know the names of the particular episodes, but that one's pretty good. That one's up there. That one, when I think of it, made me probably laugh the hardest when I watched it when it was first debuted. The chili pepper, the chili cook-off, the chili festival one, where Homer, I should stop talking. When Homer goes on his Guatemalan death chili acid trip into the desert and runs into Johnny Cash, the coyote, that one was pretty good. There's some like classic ones, but I feel like they're too classic. You know, like the ones from the first like 3 or 4 seasons that everybody knows about, that I'm not knowing about right now because my mind is a blank. Gosh, there's some other ones that I can't honestly remember, but if I see them on TV, I'll keep watching them because, oh, this is my favorite, you know, or whatever. There've been so many episodes that I've watched that they're all kind of, I don't know which is which. You know what I mean? That could be a spawner, but we can't see it. Like, I'm thinking of little incidents, like when Homer and Lisa go into the meditation pods, the isolation pods. Look, Daddy, a whale egg. You know, I'm thinking of these one-liners and, little jokes. One of the earlier ones, probably, you know, where, I don't know the names of these, but Sideshow Bob tries to kill Bart. The rake gag is as simple as can be, but it's a good gag. The stepping on the rake gag is a classic. So yeah, there's so many, and I can never actually pin down a specific one. But like, yeah, the Hank Scorpio episode, that entire episode is as a whole just really good, I feel. Same thing with the other one I mentioned that I can't remember now. Oh yeah, the chili pepper thing, because then he goes on his search for his true soulmate because he doesn't think it's Marge or whatever, and they end up in the lighthouse, and then who wears short shorts is how it ends, because that makes sense. Oh man, what else we got here? Deep fried ferticide. Second question asks, do you like to sing? Do you consider yourself a good singer? No and whoa. This is neat. No and no. Ooh, look at this. We almost missed this if I had not taken this right-sided side step. Wolfie's excited. I want to get down there to make the hidey hole, but I don't think I'm going to have time. Ooh, let's try to make a sidey hole, shall we? Sidey hole it up. I can do this and this and this. All right, so now I think we have a basis for a sidey hole, right? Yep, Wolfie, you're a little bit far away, but have a seat. I think I did this wrong, actually. Yeah, let's place down some torches. Boop. And maybe along the winder. The winder needs some torches. Let's dig in. Yeah, that's the way you do it. Nice. And we can look out over, well, when the sun rises, we can look out over this amazing landscape. I am so smart. But yeah, thank you, Deep Fried Certified, for that question. Sorry, everybody else, that's the only question I got to. But if you do want to donate to Child's Play Charity and get your question answered, do so on Friday, because that's where we're doing Farlands or Bust Friday, as you may know. Oh, I do need a little bit of a taller ceiling here. A little bit claustrophobic. So yeah, if you donate and then ask your question on Friday, that will be added to the top of the list to be answered live on stream during Farlands or Bust Friday. So go ahead and do that at farlandsorbust.com. Of course, you might get your question answered, but the main thing you're doing is helping out Child's Play Charity, getting toys, books, games to kids in hospitals around the world. Let us not forget that cause it's awesome. All right, let's place down the beds. Oh, this is actually a little bit of a bigger sidey hole than I'm used to making. There we go. That'll do. There. Symmetry. And yeah, how's my armor doing? Doing okay. I think that's where we put it. Perhaps one of the most controversial topics we've ever addressed in If Our Lands Are Bust, the Minecraft 1.9 update. Looking forward to the comments on this one. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on Friday for If Our Lands Are Bust Friday. Like I said, twitch.tv/KurtJMac. My name is Kurt. I will see you next time. Science!